One Piece has been broadcasting continuously since October 1999. As of this video, it has aired over 1,100 episodes. The manga began 2 years earlier and has sold over 500 million copies, making it the best-selling manga in history and the best-selling comic book series in the history of any country, in any language, ever. This longevity is, on its own, not unusual for Japanese anime. There are anime series that have been running longer. Detective Conan started in 1996. Doraemon started in 1979. Sazae-san started in 1969. Long-running anime is a Japanese institution. What is unusual about One Piece is not the length of the run. It is the fact that the franchise has not declined. Most long-running shonen anime experience a clear quality and popularity drop in their later years. Naruto, 15 years on air, was widely considered to have declined significantly in its final arcs. Bleach was canceled mid-story in 2012 after its quality had collapsed. Dragon Ball Super, the modern continuation of Dragon Ball, has had years where critics and fans openly debated whether the franchise should be allowed to die. One Piece has not had this trajectory. It is, in 2026, by most measures, more globally popular than it has ever been. A live-action adaptation released by Netflix in 2023 was the streaming service's top show in 86 countries on its opening weekend. The most recent manga arcs have outsold the previous arcs. The 2024 Netflix viewership data showed One Piece as the third most watched franchise on the platform, with over 170 million views accumulated since 2023. The reasons One Piece has not declined are structural, and they explain something about long-form serialized storytelling that almost no other long-running franchise has gotten right. The first reason is that One Piece has a single author with a planned ending. Eiichiro Oda began the manga in 1997 with a complete narrative outline. The ending was decided before the first chapter was published. Oda has, multiple times over the past 28 years, stated that the manga's ending has not changed since the beginning. The story is being told toward a fixed point. This is unusual. Most long-running shonen do not have planned endings. They are designed as open-ended franchises that continue as long as sales support them. The author or studio writes toward what the market wants, not toward a predetermined conclusion. This produces, eventually, a story that has lost its sense of direction. Characters multiply without purpose. New villains arrive with diminishing impact. The narrative spreads horizontally instead of advancing. One Piece does not have this problem because it has known where it was going since 1997. The horizontal expansion that other shonen suffer from is, in One Piece, the structure of the story itself. The protagonist is a pirate looking for a specific treasure. The story is structured as a sequence of island visits, each with its own self-contained arc. The arcs are designed individually to be satisfying. They are also designed collectively to advance toward a final island that has been mentioned since the first chapter. The second reason One Piece has not declined is that the production model around the manga has been deliberately stable. The manga has had the same writer and artist for 28 years, with no ghostwriters and no second author transitions. Oda has, in interviews, stated that the work is brutally demanding and has cost him significantly in terms of personal health, but he has not stepped back from primary authorship. The anime adaptation, produced by Toei Animation, has had its own challenges. Toei is a large studio with many projects, and One Piece has historically been treated as a long-term licensing asset rather than a flagship production. The animation quality has varied across the show's 26 years. Some episodes have been excellent. Many have been routine. A few have been below the studio's normal standards. Toei announced in 2024 that the anime would shift to a seasonal release model starting with the Elbaf arc. 26 episodes per year, divided into 2 cores. This was a significant change from the show's traditional model of weekly episodes year-round. The change was made to allow the production team to spend more time per episode, which was a recognition that the previous production model had been compromising quality for volume. The shift is, structurally, similar to what other anime series have done when they wanted to upgrade their production values. The third reason One Piece has not declined is that the relationship between the manga and the anime has been managed differently from most franchises. The manga has always been the primary text. The anime has always been an adaptation. The merchandise, the films, the live-action adaptation All the secondary products have been built around the manga's continuing primacy. Most long-running franchises eventually let the secondary products take over. The original work becomes a brand from which other products are extracted. The brand becomes more important than any single work. Marvel Comics, Star Wars, and DC Comics have all gone through this transition. The original work continues to be produced, but it is no longer the cultural center of the franchise. One Piece has, so far, resisted this transition. The weekly manga chapter is still the cultural event around which everything else revolves. Anime episodes adapt the manga. Films are sometimes canon, sometimes not, but always positioned as supplemental. The live-action Netflix series is treated as an adaptation, not as a replacement. The merchandise and the marketing all point back to the manga. This is partly because Oda is still producing the manga. The center of the franchise cannot move away from the manga while the manga is still actively being made by its original author. The moment Oda stops, the franchise will face the transition that other long-running franchises have already gone through. The fourth reason, which is harder to measure but probably most important, is that the underlying narrative has continued to deepen as it has expanded. Most long-running stories simplify over time. The themes that originally distinguished the work fade, and the work becomes a generic version of itself, surviving on brand recognition rather than thematic substance. One Piece has gone in the opposite direction. The arcs of the last decade have engaged with themes the first decade did not address. The political philosophy has become more sophisticated. The historical backstory has become more elaborate. The moral framework has become more ambiguous. Readers who started the series as children and are now adults find that the series has, somehow, grown alongside them. This is the rarest property of a long-running narrative. It is rare because most authors, given 2 decades of continuous production, run out of new material. Their stories become repetitions of earlier stories. The themes they explored in the first season come back, in slightly modified form, in the 10th season. The reader who returns after a decade feels a kind of vertigo of recognition. The work has continued, but it has not gone anywhere. One Piece has continued, and it has gone somewhere. The somewhere is not finished yet. The series is still building toward its final arcs. The ending Oda planned in 1997 has not arrived. When it does, the work will be evaluated against its own 28 years of buildup, and the evaluation will be unusually direct, because the work has always been pointed in one direction. The lesson buried in this story is about authorial intention and structural patience. Most long-running entertainment franchises are designed to be infinite. They have no ending because they are not meant to end. They are meant to continue extracting value from a brand indefinitely. One Piece is structurally different. It is a single finite story that happens to be very long. The length is incidental to the structure. The story will end. The author has known how it ends since before he started. This is what enables the franchise to maintain its quality across decades. The structure protects the work from the slow horizontal drift that destroys other long-running stories. The horizontal drift cannot happen because every arc is, by design, advancing toward the same predetermined ending. When One Piece finally ends, probably within the next several years, it will be evaluated against a kind of internal consistency that no other long-running shonen has been able to achieve. The evaluation will determine whether Oda's 3-decade plan worked. The likely answer is that, even imperfectly, it did. The closest comparable achievement in modern serialized fiction is not in any other anime. It is, structurally, more comparable to long-form literary projects like Marcel Proust's In Search of Lost Time or George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, except that Oda, unlike Martin, has actually been finishing his. If you found this interesting, subscribe. We go deep on the structural reasons certain long-form narratives sustain themselves while others collapse under their own weight. Drop your requests in the comments. Thanks for watching.